We got some recent news regarding Resident Evil 5 and how it could actually happen a lot sooner than expected. And the reason we know this is because there's been some weird things happening on Steam. But right before we get started with the video, I do want to give a huge shout out to ZRNalajmy, who basically let me know of this information in the previous stream. Make sure to check out those stream guides. I'm also multi-streaming on Twitch as well as YouTube every Saturday. So come and check it out. Go give me a follow on Twitch. We're almost at affiliates. Anyways, let's get started with the video. So the reason we know all of this information is because at RE5 posted this 3 days ago on Twitter, but he basically said that perhaps the announcement of Resident Evil 5 Remake is approaching. We noticed that the latest updates for a package for Resident Evil 5 in the Steam database that it received 3 updates, and 2 days ago before the release of the gold version of Resident Evil 4 Remake. These updates were as follows. Resident Evil 5 name was removed the base game for the package, remove package release date. So what this guy is basically saying here with Resident Evil 5 name was removed, it was actually replaced with a different name. That name being Resident Evil 5 parentheses 2009. Now, what's interesting about all this is that this is a huge confirmation that Capcom is going to be working on Resident Evil 5 soon. Now, I don't want to go and jump the gun here. I don't want you guys to assume that this just automatically means that we're getting Resident Evil 5 next year or the year after. That's not what I'm saying. The only thing that's very interesting about all of this is that the same thing happened to Resident Evil 4 Remake, right? If you guys look at Resident Evil 4 on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, it's always going to say with parentheses 2005 or 2023. So it seems that Capcom is just getting ready for Resident Evil 5 by making a distinction with the OG or the original Resident Evil 5 by putting parentheses 2009. Now, as we look down, we can actually see that there was changes made, and as RE5 mentioned, this was changed right after the gold edition for Resident Evil 4 Remake released on I think it was like the 4th or the 2nd of February, somewhere around there. So right after 7th of February, it does state that, yeah, they were changing stuff, and it did remove the 15th of September 2009. Now, on top of this, if we go down, it also says the store description was removed and removed the store name. And over here, he has a whole video of all of the changes in the history in SteamDB. And the other thing that I also want to mention is that the reason that this video took a little longer than usual is because I was double checking the information to see if it was actually true. And sure enough, after kind of playing around with SteamDB, I did find that a lot of this was true, right? Like 28 days ago, February 7th, added release date. You know, they added the store description. They added the store name. So they did change a couple of things. And as mentioned, the reason that they did this is more likely than not is that they're getting prepped for a future Resident Evil 5 remake. And if you guys have been watching my content for a long time, you guys already know my thoughts on all of this. You know, you guys know that I don't think Resident Evil 5 Remake should get the next remake treatment. I definitely think it has to be Code Veronica. As I've stated several times on the channel, the Code Veronica story is very important to the Wesker story. Without it, newer fans are going to be quite lost. So us going to Resident Evil 5 Remake doesn't really make much sense for newer fans, since a lot of them don't really know Wesker. You know, they probably, if they've only played the remakes, they only know Wesker from separate ways, and then Resident Evil 5 Remake, he's gonna, you know, supposedly die. So I don't think that's a very good plan. I definitely think that Capcom should go back and do Code Veronica. You know, I've also heard the idea of Outbreak go out, you know, being thrown out there. I don't know, just Outbreak, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 0. But I definitely think that Resident Evil 5 Remake should definitely be at the end of the remake list, not at the front. But as I stated at the beginning of the video, I don't want people to automatically assume that this is going to be happening next year or the year after. All this means is that Capcom seems to be working, that's the key word here, to be working on Resident Evil 5, or else why would they make the distinction of putting parentheses 2009 in an old Resident Evil 5 game, right? It doesn't make sense unless Capcom is officially working on Resident Evil 5 Remake at this moment in time. So could we expect Resident Evil 5 Remake in 3 years, 4 years? Who knows? But I definitely don't think it's happening this year or next year. We'll see though, right? I mean, I'm just basically saying this logically, right? It just doesn't sound right for Resident Evil 5 Remake to be released next year. And I wouldn't want it to, honestly. I think it needs more time in the oven to cook. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to click this one right here, because we actually go over something very sus that a voice actor said that might have revealed a little too much regarding a next Resident Evil game. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.